As Russian forces continue to wage war across Ukraine, Kiev's defenders are employing novel solutions to wreak havoc on enemy positions in the absence of sufficient Western weaponry. Aid-starved Ukrainian soldiers along the front line have been forced to innovate ever since the early days of the war, thinking up budget solutions to keep the Russian advance in check. Now, new footage of their latest invention, the menacingly named Dragon's Breath drone, has emerged, with horrified Russian troops already taking to social media to protest against its brutal efficacy and call for help. Thermite bombs, which rain down molten pieces of metal on their unfortunate targets, have already been used several times in the war by Vladimir Putin's forces, but they are typically deployed in rockets or cluster munitions indiscriminately delivered via bomber aircraft at much higher cost. Experts believe that by successfully strapping the weapons to the undercarriage of first-person view, FPV, drones, Kiev's men have developed a cost-effective way to conduct devastatingly accurate incendiary strikes on the invaders and enjoy new battlefield advantages. Footage first emerged of the Dragon's Breath drones on Monday. The initial clip, which has now been widely shared across social media, shows a small FPV drone in flight above a wooded area in eastern Ukraine in which Russian forces are purportedly hiding. Its pilot ignites the thermite bomb, and a torrent of white-hot shards erupt from underneath the drone, which scans over the treeline, spraying the molten metal over the Russian positions below. Two more clips were published in quick succession, one by Ukraine's 60th Mechanized Brigade and another by the Korn Group, an element of Ukraine's 116th Mechanized Brigade, both of which showed how the thermite ignited the trees and started a raging inferno. Days later, a video surfaced on the Telegram messaging app that appeared to show a Russian soldier standing amid the scorched remains of his troops' camp and appealing for humanitarian aid, though that video is yet to be verified. Strike drones are our wings of vengeance, bringing fire straight from the sky, the 60th Mechanized Brigade post read on Facebook. They become a real threat to the enemy, burning his positions with an accuracy that no other weapon can achieve. Thermite munitions could also be used to destroy Russian artillery batteries, armored vehicles, and other military hardware nestled in the forest. The chemical mixture of aluminium powder and iron oxide ignites at temperatures exceeding 2,200 degrees Celsius, 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and is capable of melting through steel, making it a highly effective demolition device. RUSI associate and defense analyst Sam Cranny-Evans told Mail Online, "The Dragon's Breath drones seem to be used to make Russian positions difficult to hold. Thermite munitions burn extremely intensely, and Russian troop locations often contain a lot of flammable materials, wood, grass, uniforms, not to mention ammunition. I don't know if it would burn a trench into non-existence, but bunkers and trenches constructed with wood, awnings, and other similar materials would certainly catch fire, either from the thermite directly or if the trees around them ignite. Even if the trench infrastructure itself is not physically destroyed, the potential for fires to consume wooden structures and adjacent areas would make the Russian positions untenable. Troops would therefore be forced to fight the fires, something extremely difficult to do given their intensity, or evacuate their positions. Drones also provide a pinpoint delivery mechanism, so the thermite will almost always hit its target provided the drone avoids countermeasures." Cranny-Evans went on to explain how the Dragon's Breath drones could help Ukrainian divisions to quickly retake occupied land if used correctly. "The timing of drone-mounted thermite attacks is crucial to their long-term effectiveness," said. "If Ukrainian troops launched an offensive shortly after deploying the thermite, they would likely be able to capitalize on the disarray. Their Russian opponent's ability to mount an effective defense would be severely diminished, so an immediate follow-up offensive could see Kiev's forces retake the position with relative ease." Samuel Bendet, a drone researcher at the Center for a New American Security think tank, also concluded that the drone-mounted thermite bombs could prove an extremely effective addition to the Ukrainian troops' bag of battlefield tricks. "I have not seen that particular drone application before, but I'm not surprised that Ukrainians are leading the charge once again, since they have been the first to utilize many drones in novel ways throughout this conflict," he said. Forested areas, are often where the soldiers hide. Systems like artillery and mortars can be positioned to hide from drones, and troops can regroup, fortify, and otherwise position themselves for continued warfare. So, taking out such areas is key. But there are also concerns that the new approach could trigger more widespread use of incendiary devices, which in turn would dramatically increase the risk for civilians living in conflict zones, according to Action on Armed Violence, AOAV, Executive Director, Dr. Ian Overton. Unlike conventional munitions designed to target specific military assets, thermite bombs can create widespread fires that engulf entire neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, and homes. An AOAV press release published earlier this week read, "The intense heat not only causes immediate destruction but also poses long-term health risks to survivors who may suffer from severe burns, respiratory issues, and psychological trauma." Thermite bombs represent a broader trend in modern warfare where technological advancements blur the lines between legitimate military targets and civilian infrastructure. Their capability means that even a single bomb deployed with precision can start fires that are difficult, if not impossible, to extinguish. It remains to be seen to what extent Ukrainian units turn to Dragon's Breath to help clear the front line. But one thing is for certain, it won't be long before Putin's troops take heed and fight fire with fire.